Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about the 2022 Senate elections. This is going to be my updated prediction. Basically, all of these. This time I have all the safe states filled in rather than just the obvious safe states. Like now I actually moved a couple states from likely to safe. Like we saw Kansas was likely before. I decided to move it to safe just because while I did see approval rating numbers that did not show Jerry Moran as a popular incumbent like people are saying he is, I'm sure he will win by a safe margin. Although I could be wrong on that because Laura Kelly, the incumbent Democrat governor, is also on the ballot. She will not lose by much, I will say right now. Probably less than the amount she won by, I'll say. But anyway, that's for a different video. South Carolina, Tim Scott is a popular incumbent. In Iowa, this one's kind of weird because Chuck Grassley is... We don't know if he'll retire or not. If he runs for re-election, it's going to be safe, which I currently think he will. If he does not run for re-election, it'll probably be likely. But right now, I think he will run for re-election. Alright, now for the likely states. I have a couple of these. Alaska, not changing. And Florida, I am changing. I moved it from lean to likely just because I'm realizing now I was kind of overestimating Val Demings last time. I don't think she'll be as good of a candidate as I was saying to beat this popular incumbent in the state, Florida. So I do believe that because of this, Florida, I think Republicans will win by over 5%. I don't think they'll win by over 15. I'm gonna go with between 7 and 10, sort of like 2016 for Marco Rubio. Except with Trump not on the ballot, races can skew more one way. Because of course, I'm sure you can guess, a couple of these races were very different with a presidential ballot in 2016 and are not the same without Donald Trump or really anyone on the ballot for presidency, just Senate and governor and House of Representatives, but still, let's go on to, that's actually my only likely state for the Republican Party. And by the way, this time I have no pure toss-ups. I took Missouri out of that column before. So, now let's go on to likely D. Oh wow, I actually have none. Okay, so let's move on to lean states. I think Nevada will be lean. It honestly, I was close to putting it likely. I think Catherine Cortez Masto will win between 3.5 and 5.5%, but to average that out, it would be 4.5, which would be a very high lean, because obviously my margins, less than 1 is till 1 to 5 is lean, 5 to 15 likely, and 15 or higher is safe, just to clarify. Nevada, I think, will be anywhere between 3.5 and 5.5. So, yeah, I think that Nevada will be a lean Democratic seat. I don't think Republicans are going to be able to flip the state by any means. I'm very sorry about that. I just got a notification. Alright, now time for our lean... Now, for another lean Democratic state. I'm gonna have Arizona. I mean, I might have put this as tilt before, but I don't think I did. If I did, then I'm changing it to lean because Mark Kelly, he's actually kind of popular, but more so because there's no real There's no real good Republican challenger right now. Andy Biggs probably wouldn't be able to do very well. Mark Brnovich, or if that's how you say his name, probably wouldn't do very well. And so yeah, I really don't think that Democrats are going to have too much trouble winning Arizona in 2022. Mark Kelly will probably be assigned to his first 6-year term, and I don't think he would lose re-election at any point after that. Now, my next windy state is Pennsylvania. This is a flip for Democrats, which will put them at 49 seats for now. By the way, I'm actually kind of going by how early on they will be called into the night. I think that my matchup as it stands currently, John Fetterman versus Sean Parnell. John Fetterman, in my opinion, is the strongest candidate for Pennsylvania. It might not even be an opinion, it might just be fact. I don't know what I'm saying at this point. But anyway, John Fetterman is a pretty decent candidate for Democrats in Pennsylvania. Currently a Democratic-leaning swing state. Pat Toomey, the incumbent Republican, retiring. And just kind of a similar situation for Republicans as in Arizona. They just don't really have a great candidates to run. Sean Parnell, I guess, would be the best one for them, but I don't think good enough to actually win the race, or even make it less than 1%. So, now let's move on to the tipping point state. I have Georgia as leading Democrat. I think that Herschel Walker, I think he actually just announced that he is running, which kind of surprised me, but at the same time not really. Everyone was kind of floating it. Trump already endorsed him previously. I think that I don't think he could do very well, but I do think that Raphael Warnock would. I'm not sure if he would improve on his margin from 2021, just a few months ago, or not, because obviously he won re-election or not re-election, he won his first election in a runoff election. I'm sorry about that. He won by 2.1% against a very unpopular incumbent. So, who never even won a full term, or even a term at all, had been appointed by Brian Kemp, I'm pretty sure anyway. Yeah, I think so. By Brian Kemp. Anyway, Raphael Warnock, I think, against Herschel Walker, may not do as well as in 2021, or maybe do better. Either way, I think it will be a lean margin for the Democratic Party, especially since Georgia is trending to the left so fast. I don't really see Herschel Walker picking up this seat, and of course, he is probably going to be the nominee. Let's move on to our next lean state. I have Missouri as lean Republican. Previously, I had this as toss-up. I moved it to lean Republican, and I'll say why. The reason I had it as toss-up before was because I was thinking that depending on what happens in the race between Eric Greitens being he's an awful candidate for the Republican Party, would probably shift the race by a lot. And Lucas Kuntz is a pretty decent candidate. Missouri's kind of a weird state to talk about because it's with Eric Greitens. Some people think it will be competitive, others do not. I'm personally one of the ones that thinks it will be competitive, but I do think Republicans will win in the end by anywhere between 2 and 5 points. For our next state on the list, I have New Hampshire. New Hampshire, I think, is going to go red by a lean margin. Again, this is not a change. Chris Sununu will probably unseat Democrat Maggie Hassan, being a flip for the Republican Party, which will be very bad for Democrats because Chris Sununu would probably win re-election for many terms to come, since the state really isn't trending blue. I'm very sorry about that, my phone just went off. Anyway, New Hampshire, I think, is going to be anywhere between 2 and 4 points Republican. It could be more, but I'm gonna stay with that for now. For my next race, I'm gonna put it as Ohio. Actually, I think that Ohio will be called before New Hampshire, and honestly, Ohio could be likely. I actually had the same rating as Nevada, just for the opposite party. I think my matchup has not changed. Josh Mandel versus Tim Ryan. Although I have in my last video, I said that I didn't know a whole lot about Josh Mandel. I do know that Josh Mandel now is very strong to the Trump side, and that could honestly work in Ohio being such a strong state for Republicans, or not for Donald Trump specifically. Let's take a look at some previous elections. Obama won the state twice, Bush won the state twice, and actually for the past 60 years, the winner of the election had won the state of Ohio, and in 2020, Joe Biden lost it by 8 points, which really tells us that Trump was able to bring out numbers in Ohio that we really don't see very often. Ohio is not really as much of a swing state anymore, just because of Donald Trump's ability to really shift these races. And I guess it's kind of trending red as well, but I think it's going to be anywhere between 3.5 and 5.5, just because of how good of a candidate Tim Ryan is for the Democrats. Which I think he announced he's running already. If he did not, please correct me in the comments. Anyway, now for the final state in the lean category, and this one is a change from my previous matchup, is with the state of Wisconsin. The state of Wisconsin, I had it as tilt Democrat before, and here's why I changed it. I had it as the closest race besides Missouri, but obviously that's not the case anymore. I had Wisconsin as the closest race, as the second closest race before, and now I still have it as the second closest race, surprisingly. I think that Wisconsin will be just about lean. I think my matchup has not changed. I think it will be Sarah Godlewski versus Ron Johnson, who as far as I'm concerned, I think that Sarah Godlewski did announce that she's running, but I think that she will be the nominee for the Democratic Party and will defeat Ron Johnson by anywhere between 1 and 2 points. I mean, Wisconsin is a Republican trending state, but I do think Ron Johnson has so much against him. I saw a poll recently. I'm not entirely sure which party took this poll, but he is disapproved of by 13, I think it was, points, which is really bad for an incumbent in such a swing state like Wisconsin. Republicans really need to do better. Wisconsin has put himself so far to the right, to the point where I could almost say he's more to the right than Trump, although I'm not entirely sure. I think that Ron Johnson is just so far to the right in a swing state that is not a winning strategy for him in 2022 in such a competitive, in a battleground state as is Wisconsin. I think that Ron Johnson will lose by more than I had him losing by last time. And I think that I don't see how. Now, if Ron Johnson's not the nominee, I could see some very different things happening. but I don't think... I think that Ron Johnson is going to lose re-election here. Like, he's put himself so much further to the right than he was when he ran for his first term in 2010 and ran for his second in 2016. He's definitely gotten more to the right and is not this incumbent who could win re-election easy as he used to be. Especially against Russ Feingold in 2016 was not a very good candidate for the Democratic Party. They are not going to run him again. I can tell you that right now. I don't even think he's going to run, but they're definitely not going to nominate him again if he does. Now, for the last state on the board, I'm really conflicted on this one. It's North Carolina. I'm not entirely sure which way to put it. Before I had it as lean Democrat, I definitely realized that that is not going to happen unless something crazy happens, which probably will not. I'm really unsure about which way to put this. I'm going to give it to Tilt Democrat. Cheri Beasley is a very strong Democratic candidate in a state that went to Trump by 1.3 and is trending blue. And Ted Budd is probably going to be the nominee for the Republican Party. He's an okay candidate. He got Trump's endorsement, and I think that, of course, he's going to be the nominee. But I'm not sure about how much he'll win by, or how much he'll lose by as well. I'm going to narrowly give it to Cheri Beasley by probably 0.1, 0.2, somewhere in that area. The same amount that I said that, around the same amount that I said that Kamala Harris would win North Carolina by against Donald Trump specifically. I think that Cheri Beasley, it's my race rating right here is within 0.5 for either party. I think that it's totally in reach for Democrats, but Republicans do. I'm going to go with Republicans. I'm not going to say the advantage, but have a definite good shot at winning this. I'm going to give it a 50-50 personally. But I'm not entirely sure which way to put this, but I think I'm going to go blue for now. So, at the end, it is 52 seats for the Democrats and 48 for the Republicans, and this is really good for Democrats because now, even if Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema both decide not to vote on something that Democrats want to get passed, it still passes. And this is a big problem for the Republican Party. Well, besides the fact that I do believe that they are going to win the House of Representatives through redistricting, but if the Democrats want to pass something that only needs to pass through the Senate, Democrats will pass it through the Senate, unless it's something that needs 60 votes, but of course that is not most voting scenarios. I believe that this will be the map by the end of it. States that I considered moving to different margins was North Carolina flipping to the Republican Party. I considered Nevada likely. I considered Ohio likely. And I considered Missouri likely. I also kind of considered Wisconsin tilt, but I was really leaning towards putting it lean. So yes, this is my final map. Oh, whoa, I did not mean to hit South Carolina, do not worry. This is my final map. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you have not already. I've got some more interesting things coming up, and actually double upload today. Today's your lucky day. Actually, I just have not been uploading lately. I'm sorry about that. Today's going to be a double upload just to make up for it. Thank you all for watching, and bye.